Hi everyone, I'm Ricky. Let's go through our whole body with some chair mobility work, and it's going to be all about how you know how to move your joints. It's going to be hard. Main thing you need to remember is we want to try and separate out our joints individually. We move in big teams of muscles, so when we do anything, there's a huge amount of things moving around, and if your body has one weak point within that little team of muscles, it'll just work it out. It'll put that load somewhere else will do more work, so it's going to be just one joint at a time. Let's see if we can work this out. I'm going to start from the floor up. So you can do this standing or seated. I prefer standing, but I'm going to show you the seated version because it's a little bit easier. You're going to push your feet into the floor and spread your toes. See if you can make a bit of space in between every toe. Then you're going to push the ball of your foot down and make a nice, pretty postcard style footprint. You know, like the 5 little dots. Ball of your foot goes around the curl all the way around to your heel. The little gap where your instep is, that's what I'm after. Pick your toes up, toes down, toes up, toes down. You're going to spread your toes every time you pick them up. Humans are weird. If you move your fingers around while you move your toes, it makes life easier for you for some reason. Keep doing that. I'm going to stick to try and hit about 20 reps for everything that we do. Toes up, toes down. Okay. Then, after you've done those 20 reps of that, you're going to try and push your little toes down, push your big toe down, and the ball of your foot. Think about the structure of your foot isn't going to change now, but you're going to pick up your big toe on both feet by itself. Nothing else shifts, just the big toe picks up. If you turn your feet like that every time you pick up your big toe, that's not it. I want to see that big toe be able to move by itself. This might be hard. It might help if you pick your thumb up at the same time as well. Keep picking up that big toe 20 times. You try and spread the toes at the same time. I find that a bit hard. There we go. After you've done 20 of those, push your big toe down and little toes pick up. And again, no tilting of the foot. So if your foot kind of picks up like this to pick up your little toes, that's not it. Just keep your knees out, so your knees stay over the top of your ankles. Whether they're standing or seated, that still counts. Pick up those little toes, push them back down. 20 reps. And then, we're going to look at how our ankles move. So, if you point your toes forwards and make dance feet like this. So you straight line from your shin to the top of your foot. And wave your foot side to side and your knees stay still. You're trying to push into the 2 bottom corners of where your ankle could possibly move. Keep hitting that end range. Keep breathing. And then you pull top of your foot back towards your shin for dorsiflexion. Tibialis anterior, these muscles here control this, and they're going to pull back as hard as you can, and your knees don't shift, and you wave your feet side to side like this. And it's only ankles, so no hip stuff. If your hips start doing this as well, it'll look like this and your knees will turn. And that's your body trying to pick up the slack with other joints. I want to just see what your ankles can do really individually. 20 of these. And then we try and tie that together into a big long movement of circles with your ankles. Let's not say circles actually, let's change it to squares. Hit 4 corners of a square, 10 circles one way, or squares one way, 10 the other, and hit those 4 corners and push right into the edges of where your ankle could possibly move. And if you could just keep your fingers on your knees, so you know that you're not making this happen from your hips. Yes, there we go. Then let's move up into knees. Our knees, we know they hinge like this. You know that already. They also do rotation like this. And that is important. You've heard of when footballers get an ACL injury? It happens quite a lot. It's normally where you plant your foot and you twist and your knee doesn't, and it does that. And it gives it either tears the ACL or damages it. It's a horrible injury. Your ability to do this makes this stronger. But you need to be able to do it. And it's hard. You might trick yourself into thinking you're doing it by moving your ankle around. It's not that. It comes from here. There's a little bone on the outside of my knee that if I put my finger on, I know that I'm doing it really well because I can feel my shin doing that. Go for 20 of these. Every time you come to the external rotation, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Then into the other side. Keep slowing it down. I want to see control in this. It's so hard not to let your ankle do it. I'm kind of good at this. I still have to tune in. It's hard for me to talk and do it really well at the same time. Keep keep this going for 20 reps. And keep breathing. And then we're going to look at how our knees hinge. So if you could sit right up on the end of your chair, bring your hands under the chair and pull yourself up. Pull heels up towards your bum, so you're trying to make your hamstrings close up. Straighten out. Hamstrings close up. Straighten out. Keep breathing. 20 of these. It's going to be hard. After you've done 20, neutral, so you're going straight line. Your knees kind of point the same direction as your toes. And to go for external rotation with your knees, like this. So you turn, so your heels touch as they pull back, heels come apart, you come up. Heels touch, heels come apart. And your toes pointing out to the outside of the room. Let's see 20 of these. And keep breathing as well. And then, toes come together, the internal rotation, out and back in, out and back in. So this is that tibial rotation, that knee rotation we just did, but trying to get the knee to perform while it's doing that. The more of a map you've got of how to go into different shapes with your joints, the more that you can share your load of life, moving around, getting in and out of cars and falling over a little bit and walking, means you can share it out between all of the joints. Then let's look at hips. So easiest version of this is sitting at the back of the chair, straighten this leg out, and you move right from in here and make a pencil sharpener style rotation with your hip. So your knee turns in, knee turns out, knee turns in, and knee turns out. I much prefer the external rotation, which means my internal rotation is a little bit weaker. You might be the other way around. You're going to squeeze into end range of both of those, but really try and tune into what you find hard and what you find easy, and make that stuff that you find hard stronger. About 20 of these internal external rotations on each leg. Turn it out, turn it in, turn it out, turn it in. You should probably feel this right on the outside of your hip here. Anything that feels like nerve pain, like dislocation, anything really sore or painful, back away from that. Don't push into those places. Just move in your safe map. So if it hurts as you squeeze it into end range, just stop just a little bit short and show your body where all the safe movement is. So it doesn't avoid this rotation completely, because if every time you hurt it, your body's going to be like, nope, don't do that, nope, don't do that, and you keep making it happen, when you move around, it won't work so well. And then, shuffle up to the end of your chair, sitting up tall, nice proud chest, going to make hip flexion and out, and back down, up, back in, and down. And keep breathing and moving slowly. Try not to let any free fall happen, so it doesn't look like this, where it like hits the floor. You try to control it down, control it up. See if you can keep your body really still while you do this, so you don't like feel yourself cheating yourself. If you spin on the chair and your chest has ended up this way, that's not the one. There we go. Okay, let's just do 10 of these on each side. It's getting hard. This is a tough one. Keep sitting up tall and keep breathing. Okay, and then let's go into our lumbar spine. It's a big point of pain for a lot of people. So I'm just moving sideways so you can see you can still sit facing forwards on your chair. Going to your coccyx here, you're going to try and roll it towards the chair here, and try and roll it up, roll it back, roll it up, and you should be able to see my lower back tilting like this. I'm controlling this with these muscles here. So I roll up, back down, up, back down. If you have your hands onto your knees here, and keep your elbows straight, and keep breathing as you do this. Let's go for 20 of those, and then let's move a little bit further up. We're into a lot of the muscles that are involved in your breathing now. So I want you to put your hands on your ribs, on your obliques here, and push your belly out as you breathe in. Draw your belly in as you breathe out. I want you to not think about pulling any air in through your mouth or your nose. You're just using the movement to move that oxygen around. Slow down your out breath, really slow it down. Take longer and longer and longer, and feel these muscles kind of contract and pull in. Your ability to move oxygen around while you're doing movement is key. It's all well, very good practicing this really nice breathing here where you sat up tall and you sat and you don't have to worry about anything else. Let's talk about movement and getting this oxygen in at the same time. So we're going to bring our arms across our chest and rotate. Squeeze into rotation. Your chin and your eyes face forwards like this, so you don't confuse yourself with thinking that you're hitting end range by looking around, because your eyes are sneaky. They'll send a message to your brain like, that's as far as you go, and then you turn around the other way. That's as far as you go, and you're not even hitting anywhere near your thoracic rotation that you're actually capable of. Let's keep squeezing a little bit further, and notice if stuff happens in your body. Notice if you shrug your shoulders, notice if you hold your breath. It's going to be hard to breathe because you're scrunching up all these muscles that are all wrapped around your lungs. But you can teach your body to still take in oxygen as you hit this rotation. And then, this is complicated now, you're going to have to move slow and really think about what's actually happening. You're going to scrunch up the obliques on this side, which means that the side of your ribs come down towards your hips, and you lengthen the obliques on this side. See that? So I'm long on one side of my torso, all scrunched up on the other. And then it's rotation, which means this shoulder here, this top shoulder, comes forwards and I rotate. And then this shoulder pulls back as I rotate. My head faces forwards. I just want to know if you can understand what your spine does. If you can't do this and you end up sat upright and you don't know how you got there because you think you're doing it, you just don't know this map yet, and that's okay. It's just a movement that you've not done yet. If someone passed you a harp, showed you how to play it once, and then you tried to play the harp, you wouldn't be able to do it, because it takes learning, and you've got to start easy. And that's this. You have to start easy. You have to really slow down, scrunched up. Can I pull this shoulder forwards and this shoulder back? And then can I change that? This shoulder forwards, this shoulder back. Am I still scrunched up on this side and lengthen here? And work it out. Go for 20 of these, that's going to be hard. Then over to the other side, 20 again. And I think about where my weight is distributed. So if I can keep the weight on this bum muscle, on the chair, on this outside side, I know that it's all happening here. If I just kind of fall over a bit, I don't want it to be all passive and floppy. I'm controlling this. I'm showing my spine how to rotate and be tilted up at the same time. Keep breathing. There we go. Then, let's go into our thoracic spine extension and flexion. This is going to be much harder. So you put your hand on your belly, hand on your back. You're going to try and curl your chest down and curl your chest up. Your back, your lower back here, especially where the back of your hand is, try and set it and try and, with your thumb up towards the middle of your back, you should be able to feel this little kind of starting of a hinge point here. And then you peel your chest up and tense your belly to come down. I'm trying to make this thoracic spine, so from collarbone to about the bottom of your sternum, does extension and flexion, extension and flexion. I expect that to be hard. I expect you to not get it for the first 10 times you do it, first 20 times you do it, and that's okay. Okay, let's go into our arms now. So looking at this left shoulder, this hand's going to grab hold of my knee and push down with a straight elbow. I'm pulling back into the corner of where this could possibly go. See how my chest is still facing forwards and I've not rotated like this? You're going to hold that chest forwards, no rotation from anywhere here. Pulling back, and then I turn my thumb to point up and back as I come up and back. And I'm hitting the corners of where I could possibly pull back with this shoulder. Bring it up behind my ear, then bring it down past my cheek, and down right back to this start point. Then change direction, swings forwards, and get it behind my ear. And then it's internal rotation on the way down, which means my thumb points across the top of my head, points forwards, and then points down as I go down and back, down and back, down and back. I'm fighting my body wanting to help with the rotation. So my chest is trying to rotate, but I'm pushing into the corner with this shoulder and end up back at this start point. then change direction. Turn this thumb to point up as I go up, point behind me as I get behind my ear, down past my cheek, back to here, then change direction. And this should be hard. If it's just a fling of your arm around, that's not the one, that isn't it. Keep trying to push into the corners. If you're confused about which way your thumb should be pointing, don't overthink it. Just do something that is end range related. You know what end range means. If there was a skeleton, you could drag that bone as far as it could possibly go in its little ball and socket joint, and you move it around in a big circle. Keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. Right, let's go into the other side. And notice how one side can really do it, like really well, and the other side will be like, I don't know what you're asking of me. And that's how I feel about my body. My left arm, I kind of get it, but when I get to this bit here, this bit's pretty strong. This bit, I internally rotate, turn my thumb to point down as I go down and back. That bit there, I feel disconnected. I feel like I don't have it. And that's okay because I'm working on it. And you should feel that way too. You shouldn't be like, can't do it, it's terrible. Keep this moving. There's a small chance, if you have sore shoulders, this will look like this for you. Or even smaller map than that. If you've got stuff going on your shoulder, you've got stuff going on in your shoulder, you need to respect that and only move in your safe range. Don't just do nothing, even if it's just down here. Like this, with a bit of thought of how these muscles work, you will improve. You're going to get some blood flow, some oxygen into those muscles by using them. If you don't use it, you lose it. So we've got to keep moving into these end ranges. Come on, left arm. And keep breathing. Nice. Okay. Now let's go into elbows. You're going to pin your elbows into your ribs like this, with your fingers pointing forwards. You're going to, with your thumbs pointing out, you're going to try and point them down to the floor. So it's massive external rotation in your elbows, and then try and pull your little fingers to touch your shoulder, and it won't. Without cheating, not like that. I mean, like you're trying to keep your wrists straight, touch your shoulder, then come down. Try and point your thumbs backwards, and straighten your arms as hard as you can. Back up, back down, back up, back down. Let's do 10 like this. And then turn your thumbs to point to your knees, and try and turn your thumbs to point down. Don't let your elbows come away from your ribs, so you're trying to pull in tight and try and point your thumbs down. Go for 10 like this. And then let's go into wrists. Your wrists are sneaky. They've got so much other joints to rely on to do their job with them, that doing individual joint work on your wrists is so hard. If you can pick a point on your wrist, either a vein, a hair, a watch, a terrible tattoo, whatever it is, go down and back up, down and back up. Don't let your fingers cheat you. It's only wrist work we're after, so no bending at the knuckle. So if it goes like this, that's not it. Just down and back up, down and back up. Keep your shoulders down, keep your elbows pulled into your ribs. And this is going to burn fast if you do it right. Don't let your elbows cheat. So if it looks like this, that's not it. It's only wrists. And then I'm going to try rotations. These are really tough. So pick a point on your wrist. Don't let it rotate. So if I do that, I've lost it. Little fingers towards each other. Down, out, back up, in. Find those end ranges, just 5 on each side, because it's so hard. Change direction for 5 the other way as well. Nice. And then we'll finish off with a little bit of neck work. Necks are vulnerable and weak because you've got eyes and other joints that can join in. Your neck never really does its whole job, so we're going to try and teach it where it can move and where you've got control over it right now. We're not going to try and push your luck, we're not going to try and learn anything brand new, you're just going to see what you can do. So, hands on your knees and pull your shoulders down away from your ears, chest proud, and move your neck side to side. If you're doing this in front of a mirror, try and make it so you can see both of your ears, so you don't rotate. So you're just seeing what you can do side to side and move slow, because otherwise you get dizzy. After doing 20 of these, just trying to push lightly into your end range, just to show your body where it is, a little stretch, a little contraction on each side. And you hold it over in one tilt, and then you try and rotate while you hold this tilt. So you try and look at behind your shoulder. Try and look up. Look behind your shoulder. Look up and move slow so you don't get dizzy. Keep breathing. And over to the other side. Look down behind your shoulder. Look up. Down behind your shoulder. Look up. Keep moving slow and keep breathing. Nice. There we go. That's us. We've looked at nearly every joint in our body. We'll try to find the end ranges in every single one individually. And it's hard. Give it time. Move slow. Move with thought. And be good with what you've got. Because you've turned up with what you've got. You can't change that in one go. It takes time and a little bit of progression on top of each other. Try and enjoy it. Have fun. And let me know if you've got any questions. Thanks so much, everyone. I'll see you soon. Bye.
and grab